I think I know your answer on this, but do you agree or disagree with this statement that the costume design process is a collaborative one? If you agree with this, can you please elaborate a bit?
Totally collaborative. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that's the joy of working in the arts. Really, is it's fantastically collaborative. And I think if you don't enjoy collaboration, then you should go off and be an artist and make what what you want in alone in a room. But I think being a designer, I think that's the fun bit. I mean, I love whether I'm working in sets or costumes or stage, ballet, or TV. It's the collaborative process that's really good fun. You never know where a good idea is going to come from, and I think when you're working at your best, you want the team around you to all be able to feel free to use their voice and come up with their ideas. So I love hearing ideas from makers because they always know more than I do about where best to put a seam or where best to engineer a stage piece of if it's metal work. I don't know as much as they know, or a carpenter or a milliner. It's all the same sort of conversations you're having about how to tell this story, and then getting their feedback is great. And that's also the same with producers and writers and directors and actors. They've all got really good, valuable input, and it's really important to listen.
Yes, the creative process does not happen in a vacuum, and that applies to costume design as well. Costume designers work together with the director and actors to ensure the character's arc comes through with the costumes, and we also have to take into consideration an actor's comfort, especially if it's a complicated stunt sequence or if there are like sensitive materials involved. And so costume designers also collaborate closely with the production designers often to make sure that the color palettes work together in harmony, so that you don't end up having your hero character in the same shirt color that matches the wall, and then suddenly it's a floating head.
Oh, absolutely. It's collaborative. I can't imagine one department running a whole show. My ultimate favorite thing is before COVID is sitting in a concept meeting, and I'm sitting there with the director, I'm sitting there with the producers, the showrunner, production designer, props, stunts, visual effects, special effects. And we're all coming together, and we're reading page by page of a script, and we're coming up with ideas, and we're collaborating with one another. I think about just a lot of the shows that I worked on. My pilot that I've just finished doing, I was working with special effects, visual effects, stunts. I was working with choreographers, right? In order to make all of those parts work, we all have to come together in order to get that piece out onto camera. And I think a lot of people think, oh, it's one person that gets it, and this happens in this person's part and this person's part. And the amount of other departments that are affected, that are part of costumes, is incredible, right? Think about it. Guy pulls a flask out of his jacket. Well, how do we know that the jacket had a pocket that was made for the right size of a flask? Do you know what I mean? There's so many things. You look at wire work, and we start to talk about, okay, what type of harness are we using? Are we using an upper harness, or are we using a bottom harness? That's going to change the effect of the costume, how the costume is going to flow and stuff. So there's so many different elements that come into place when designing a costume, that it affects many other departments. And it's important that we all work together to come with that final piece that works for everyone.
So, the design process is definitely a collaborative one on many levels because film in itself, whether it's TV or film, is a collaborative art across many, many departments. That's why, in film you have department heads because it's how your clothing reacts to production design. It's the director's specific vision for the film. It's how cinematographers light the sets. How actors move in your clothing. And so, on that level, film is a very collaborative effort. On a department level, in terms of your own department, because as a costume designer, I sort of view it as you're the editor, right? You're bringing in the ideas, you are sort of guiding everyone towards a singular vision. But the different components like shopping, fabric swatching, tailoring, even organizing to get clothing to set, set people who dress the actors. I mean, these are all components that you're not doing yourself. And so the big thing is to find people that you can trust that work in the same sort of way that you do, and to produce that result that people see on screen. So it's a tremendous effort of people in their own individual skills to get something seamless on screen.